Good evening, Doc Severson here with the Theo Night Report for Thursday, July 20th. I'm looking at a tick chart here of Microsoft after hours. So Microsoft has reported after hours. This is the big, after hours tech report for at least tonight. We don't have much tomorrow. I'll show you that in just a second here. But so far, a little bit of a positive reaction, but we'll see whether or not that actually translates to anything tomorrow. Now, tomorrow, looking at the calendar, really all we have for tomorrow is GE and maybe Schlumberger in terms of the name brand stocks that could move things around a little bit, but really not looking for much of anything at all. So tomorrow we also have the July S&P settlement. We'll see if there's any excitement going into the settlement for the morning, but really it doesn't carry as much weight as it used to. It used to be a big deal to have the S&P settle every month on stop trading on the Thursday, settle in the Friday morning. It was a great big deal. It's not so much of a big deal anymore as a lot of trading has gone over to the ETF, the spiders, the S&P futures. It's also gone over to the weekly options on the S&P, which are PM settled, so we don't have as much of this European settlement, AM settlement trash that we used to have to go through. Now, looking at the markets, if we start out with the Russell 2000, actually the Russell 2000 has been fairly strong lately and has broken into new highs. So today it made an incremental new high, although this is just a small little doji candlestick for the day, not much going on with the Russell, but again, breaking into new highs. Now, if the Russell is actually picking up the baton and running with it, that actually could be good for overall markets just because of the risk nature of the small caps. So because of this, the small caps can be somewhat of a canary in the coal mine in terms of fund manager sentiment. If they're willing to dump money into small caps at all-time highs, that at least bodes well for their risk appetite at this point. Depending on whether you're short or long, means whether or not that's good or bad. Now, the Nasdaq is still the IT index out there, but it's going to have a little bit of a problem coming up here soon. This linear move, extraordinarily linear move that we've seen here from the bottom to the top. So this is just since really around the July 4th holiday. We've seen this rally here over the last couple of weeks. And that's been good enough for just about 400 points on the Nasdaq futures. But we're into exhaustion at this point. So does this mean just because some guy's got some line on his chart that the price has to halt here? No, it doesn't mean anything. All it shows to me is that when we see exhaustion on this time frame, typically what we will see is the higher probability of the price starting to consolidate, perhaps even pull back or go somewhere in between at this point. So this is where the probabilities have increased that we're going to see this range expansion move into range contraction, at least for a few days. Now, this is a very short-term movement here, and perhaps this is a good time for the markets to kind of digest these gains because we don't have any of the big tech earnings coming up until next week. So next week we have some of the big heavyweights coming up, but nothing really for tomorrow. So a good time for this thing to maybe pause, take a rest, and digest gains. Now, speaking of a pause, this may be an excellent time tomorrow. We actually see, if you see these two lines on here on the spider, so this is the S&P 500 ETF, we have an interesting signal coming up in confluence here. So also in the S&P 500, we have this very linear move, breakout from the bottom here, from this kind of flag pattern. We are now into exhaustion on the S&P, and this is only going to keep going lower tomorrow. So tomorrow we should find this at a fairly low value. Now, these lines that you see on the chart are my alerts for the expected move for the week. So what we've been doing lately here is tracking these expected move values, top and bottom, and we are so close to tagging that for upper expected move. Now, this has not been a good trade over the last couple of months. Every time we seem to have an expected move test for here, it gets blown through just like what we had last Friday. So last Friday's rally blew through this thing. But we don't have this level of energy that we had last week. So last week's move was on a great deal of energy coming out of a consolidation pattern. Now we've seen the market rally from about, this 2400 level all the way up, 75 some points higher on the full S&Ps to this level now. This might be an excellent time for a fade. If we're going to do this tomorrow, what we could simply do is just go to the front week options, which are going to be the 21 Julys, and we could actually go and buy a put option. So just like one strike in the money, you can see right now these are only going by 63 by 65 offer. And so it's a relatively inexpensive trade. You can also see that if we do get, let's say that we get a 10-point move to the downside. So if we faded this level and bought a long put, let's say we bought this at 65 cents. And if we get a 10-point move in the full S&Ps, then essentially what this would create is you can see that the value of that put option would probably go somewhere from 65 cents up to about $1.53. So a 10-point move is going to double your investment on something like that. Okay, this is not a get rich quick or anything like that. This is just, we have an option with a lot of leverage with very little time value left, and these things are razor sharp because of the gamma. So if we see this kind of move tomorrow, if we see an early move up that starts to show weakness and a lower high and it starts to fade, then this fade trade is going to be on for that upper expected move. Otherwise, if I see the level, if I see this level just sort of blasted through like that, I will stand to the side and let yet another ramp go past the expected move to the upside on the S&Ps. But again, I'm not expecting that tomorrow just because of the fact that we have this daily exhaustion here. I think it's going to be very difficult to find new buyers on a Friday, right, where no real earnings excitement is happening and a lot of caution going into the weekend. This could be an excellent fade for tomorrow. Hey folks, before you take off, just one quick reminder again about the Arizona Traders Retreat that we're having in Scottsdale in September 7th, 8th, and 9th. This is not to be missed. Again, if you've noticed here, we are actually starting to fill up. We are starting to fill up for this. If you go down to here, you can actually see who's signed up for this session already. So what's important about attending a workshop like this, if you're on the fence, is that not only do you get to meet us and ask us live the questions, you get to meet us during the breaks and ask us questions and get really answers to all of the issues that you've got, right? So not only that, but also the important thing is that there's going to be another 199 people out there that are doing exactly what you're doing. So not only meeting us, getting to see the material live, get your questions answered, but also meet this amazing group that we have put together, which is very, very quickly approaching sold out status. So keep that in mind. Now, don't forget that if you're not a Total Theo member, your attendance to this workshop will include 1 year of Total Theo. Now, if you don't know what Total Theo is or what that's all about, first of all, there's a live element to it. We're basically live about 6 hours a day through video and audio in the chat room itself, as well as you can see all the archives that we have for every month that we've done this, but also the classes that we do. So we can look at some of the classes that we have done live for our students. So in other words, if you want to know about iron condors or high probability in-out spreads or weekly options or calendar spreads or fractal energy trading, or trading a small account, or doing weekly diagonal spreads, pairs trading, trading futures contracts, using fibs in your trading, trading tetrapod spreads, you name it, we have done a class in it over the last couple of years. These will all be available to you as soon as you sign up for this class. Now, the workshop itself features our favorite material and the material that's most requested by our students, such as long and short volatility strategies, neutral options trading strategies, including pairs, calendars, straddles, strangles, how to set it up in a workable portfolio, how to position size, how to work on your mindset, and how to add technical analysis to increase the probabilities of your trading, how to build a trading plan, and a proven formula for day trading as well too. You name it, just about every aspect of trading, whether it's stocks, options, futures, building a portfolio, being able to day trade, being able to trade for a living is something that we're going to be talking about during this 2-day class. And of course, it does come with the Total Theo 12-month membership. And to give you an idea what the event schedule is like, first of all, on Thursday night, the 7th, we're going to be having a happy hour with you guys. So meeting everybody in person, you're going to get a chance to, rub elbows with not only the instructors out there, but other expert traders that are part of our live trading room every single day. And on Friday and Saturday, we're going to be doing, of course, morning session, afternoon session, and breakfast is served for those of staying in the hotel. You can see the conference room we're going to be doing this at. One thing I'd like to point out to you is if you've been through seminars like this before, sometimes we wedge everybody into these things, and it's so uncomfortable. By the end of 2 days, you're ready to go. We're going to have nice chairs for you guys, so we're going to make you very, very comfortable. It's going to be an excellent facility. You can see how beautiful this place is, and you're going to want to stay around for maybe a couple of days after that, maybe extend your stay into the weekend. This is such a nice place. So full day Friday, full day Saturday, rubbing elbows with us, talking to us about questions that you have for trading as well. Full breakfast, lunch, cocktail party, discount, TheoTrade group room rate, Wi-Fi resort fee is going to be waived for those staying at the hotel, discount on spa services. You can go play golf out there. This is going to be a great event. It's going to be a high-class event, and it's going to be absolutely packed with information. The ability to talk to our instructors out there and really walk away with a full trading plan and give you confidence to be able to hit this market running when it starts again in the most important part of the year, which is the beginning of the fourth quarter here as we wrap up 2017. So hope to see you out there.